Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope forecast for week commencing the 2nd of May. As this week begins, Venus, the planet of grace, of charm, of aesthetics, of fashion, but also of relating and of course of money, moves into the first zodiac sign of Aries. If you have been going through some soul searching around a relationship issue recently, this could bring you more into the present, especially if there has been, unfortunately, a separation in your situation. But Venus also moves into an immediate, sparkling alliance with Mercury in one of its two home zones of Gemini. Now this can lead to some flirtatious text winging around. It could also bring a greater sense of enthusiasm to the social scene. Of course, the Sun does continue alongside Uranus in Taurus, which is very much to do with our resources. But Uranus is asking us through the Sun to be as open-minded as possible, to not hold on to things that no longer serve our greater purpose. And in some ways that might be some of the things we've taken for granted a little bit because the cost of living has gone up so much. We might find actually that some of the things we thought were so essential we can let go, and because the two of them are forging such a very powerful and energizing link to the planet of drive, Mars, we can dig deep from within ourselves to find ways in which we can reorder things. Some of that sparkle that Venus and Mercury are going to bring, despite the fact that Venus is technically in its detriment in Aries, could be enjoying the interaction, the personal interaction, and that doesn't really cost anything at all. Now also, there is by Sunday a quarter moon in the sign of Leo. This sees the Sun in the 2nd, the Moon in the 5th, which just cautions us not to be too free and easy with our resources. But also, if there is somebody that we're rather fond of, perhaps they've become rather too used to us indulging them. And this could be a good moment to actually just reinforce our boundaries somewhat. But Jupiter, the planet of fortune, is forging a very powerful alliance to Pluto, the planet of transformation, that goes on all through this week. People who have this in their natal horoscopes are often very lucky and often make quite good progress in life in a material context. But of course, Jupiter in the sign of Pisces can be more of a spiritual dimension, but something can change or evolve in a way which pleases us through that particular influence. Also, Saturn in Aquarius is forging a semi-sextile to Neptune. Some of the things that we might think are very important to our structure of our lives, we might be able to let go of some of those with Neptune's help. But of course Neptune can erode structures in a less positive way, but I don't think that will be the case. I think again we can realise that some of the things that we think or thought were so important are not quite as important as they actually seem to be in the past. Now, if you would like to ascend above this Zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal information, I can give you a roadmap that can guide the rest of your life. A natal analysis is so incredibly insightful, but also with this, with my special offer, you can also get a 12-month forecast, and the two working together, and I give you 30% off, can really be so very meaningful in terms of tapping your potential, avoiding pitfalls, and making the right moves at the right time. Please see the link below this video for more. Finally, if you are new to my channel, before I give you your Zodiac forecast, if you would be so good to subscribe, I'd be really grateful. I'm racing towards 100,000 subs. It's taken a bit longer than it should have done because of all my health issues, but your support is greatly appreciated. Hello Scorpio, and welcome to your week commencing the 2nd of May weekly forecast. Now, your two ruling planets are traditional Mars and modern higher octave Pluto, and they're both incredibly influential in a positive way this week. But the big event at the very start of the week is Venus gliding into the sign of Aries. Now, of course, the other sign other than yours, which Mars has the rulership of, is Aries. So Venus moves into this sector. Now for you, this is house 6. So very much to do with the practicalities of life, can be to do with work. Mercury is in house 8, very much in keeping with the energy of your own sign, to do with deep transformations and an analytical understanding of things. But your personality power, Venus in the 6th house, linked with your powers of observation, can really be a very effective mix this week. So you can work with people, especially in your job, in a way which means you can relate to them, but also understand the details. Now, Mars in your sector of passion and self-confidence, the 5th house, is feeding into the conjunction between the Sun and Uranus in house 7, very much about relating. And it could be that there is an extra sort of sparkle about you at this time. If you are single, you could meet someone through your work with Venus moving into the 6th house. But equally, what you're wanting in a relationship is a sense of truth, because Uranus is the planet of truth. It might not be particularly happy in the sign of Taurus, but in this combination with the Sun and sextiling to your ruler Mars, your passion to get to a more authentic place in terms of your relationships is very much going to be an asset. But of course, Uranus can be about change and it can be disruptive. So some kind of confrontation doesn't necessarily have to be extreme, but perhaps might be needed to get you to where you really want to be. Now, Jupiter, the planet of luck, in the 5th house, the sector of risk and basically chance, is actually forging a brilliant link to Pluto. Pluto's in your sector of everyday communication. So if you have a message that you want to convey to people this week, you can do it with enthusiasm. You can be quite inventive about the way you interact with people. Your energy is going to be very alluring. If you're single, it really wouldn't be a surprise if there was some connection to someone that you encounter this week. And it could be very charismatic, quite electric, something that can really get your pulse racing. However, if you're in a relationship that's ongoing and you feel really trapped and you can't really breathe, that could be something that stresses you out somewhat. By the end of this week, the quarter moon on Sunday in Leo could see your feelings hard to disguise, particularly around a relationship which isn't going quite so swell. And Uranus being close to the Sun, as I said, it could make you a bit more outspoken. You can often say how you observe things to others, but about your own deeper feelings, as I'm prone to say, you can be much more private. This could be the week when you really open up and share how you feel in a much more fulsome way.